who's and what's and why's and wherefores. Here you'll find your what-nots and therefores. So come on along, let's find out what's going on. Where's and when's and who's and what's it's. No matter what your taste, you can trust it's the place where you can find all your new Disney news. Where's and when's and who's and what's it's. No matter what you taste, you can trust it's the place where you can find all your new Disney news.
Welcome to the Sweep Spot current events episode as of 12/9/22.
Woohoo! I'm digging this format. Every 2 weeks we do a current events episode, except for our holiday break. And we also do a topical episode. Often it's historical. All the other weeks. So you get the podcast every week if you're lucky enough to subscribe. So please do.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Ken and I are both former Disneyland Custodial cast members, and we host the #1 Disneyland podcast, hosted by two former Disneyland Custodial cast members.
#1.
Like you had mentioned, our main topic show is where we dive more into the Disneyland history. We have former cast members on. We have authors and podcasters and Imagineers. We've had former Imagineers on. We've had a variety of different types of guests, and those are our main thing that we've been doing for the past almost 12 years now. So this is our current event show if you want to get up on the latest at the Disneyland Resort. I want to see here if we had anything else to mention. Before we get into it, though, we do have our Patreons where if you want to help support the show, you can donate $5 or more through Patreon per month, and you get one bonus episode. You get to join us in a live chat, which we're going to be doing later tonight. As we record our current events, you get to interact with us and leave comments, and it's a lot of fun. So join on patreon.com, search the Sweep Spot, or go to thesweepspot.com. And also go on to our website, thesweepspot.com. We have our books are for sale there. We have links to them there. We have our USB drives, which have our audiobooks on them, narrated by Ken, and a whole bunch of stuff on there, T-shirts and everything. So go over there and check all that out.
Yes, thank you. And if you do, by the way, if you do like my narration, maybe you want to hire me for your project. So there, if you can afford me. No, just kidding. But yeah, no, I'm actually, I'm serious. I'm willing to do voice work for people. So, for pay. But anyway, so are we prepared to get things moving here, Lynn?
Yeah. Who is our, who helps us out here, Ken?
Well, we are supported by our friends at concierge.com. That's CONCIEARS.com. Like mouse ears and concierge put together. You know why? Because they focus on Disney getaway vacations. They are our magical vacation planning partners. If you are going to plan a Disney getaway vacation, you shouldn't do it without concierge. Go to concierge.com to start planning your next trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World or the Disney Cruise Line, Ventures by Disney, Disney's Aulani in Hawaii. That is what concierge focuses on. They know what's happening. They know the changes. They know how to get reservations. You want to check them out because it'll just take away a lot of the uncertainty and the stress of planning your next Disney getaway vacation without adding any cost to you. Seems like a no-brainer to me. That's why I send my mom to them. And that's why Lynn has done work with them. So that is, something that we want to thank them for, is helping out our listeners, helping out my mother. And if you book a package with them, a package meaning, week on the Disney cruise or theme park tickets with a hotel stay, you book a package with them, you tell them that the Sweep Spot sent you, and you'll get a special gift for that. So go to Concierge at concierge.com, and thank you to them for helping us out.
And right now we're going to have some of my colleagues that I work with at Concierge giving some of their favorite Disney park tips.
Hi, this is the East Coast Lindsay with Concierge, and my tip is for all you budget travelers out there. Disney World has so many wonderful table service restaurants, but they aren't cheap. I recommend skipping lunch and dinner in favor of a meal my family has termed Linner. For Linner, you eat a good breakfast that will keep you full most of the day, make a reservation around 3:30 to take a break and refuel for the evening, and enjoy a snack during the fireworks to cap off your day. Have a magical vacation.
Hi, this is Bethany with Concierge, and here's my number one Disney Parks tip. Have a plan, but stay flexible. Try not to overplan your day with too many dining reservations. You're going to overwhelm yourself, and things can potentially go wrong sometimes. Don't let that set your entire day back. Just move on, learn from it, and sometimes the best thing you can do is just see where the Disney winds take you, because that is when the most magical moments can happen.
Hi, this is Lindsay with Concierge, and my best Disneyland tip is to take an afternoon break. It's the perfect time to get away from the crowds and check out some of the lesser-known attractions, like the Mark Twain Steamboat, the Enchanted Tiki Room Show, or my personal favorite, a full-circle tour on the Disneyland Railroad. It will give you just the little reboot you need to be able to hit the parks strong for the rest of the evening.
Hey everyone, this is Marie with Concierge with another Disney travel planning tip for you. My tip is to utilize your resources. Listening to podcasts like The Sweep Spot to stay on top of the latest Disneyland news, and using our travel planners at Concierge will give you such an advantage while you're at the parks. Let's face it, planning a Disney vacation is not the same today as it was 5 years ago. Whether you're new to Disney travel, haven't been to a particular destination in a while, or you're an accomplished Disney traveler just looking for a new experience, we can strategize with you to make the most of your time and your budget.
Hello everyone, this is James with Concierge, and my tip is for those families who are traveling with little ones who can't quite go on some of the bigger thrill rides like Indiana Jones and Space Mountain. You can take advantage of the Rider Switch, which will allow us bigger kids at heart to not only enjoy those rides, but also get to spend time with our kids with some of the rides they love that they can go on.
Hi, this is Patrice with Concierge. My biggest tip is to rope drop. If you rope drop first thing in the morning, you'll be able to get more rides in those first 2 hours than you will be at any other time during the day. Have fun.
Hello, Sweep Spot listeners. I'm Mike Renfro, the founder of Concierge, and I'm just here to give you my quick, maybe more holiday-inspired park tip. And that is, we spend so much time in the parks looking at everything around us and checking out all these amazing things that Disney has created. But I encourage you, especially in light of this holiday season, to take a moment and watch your family as they enjoy the magic of Disney. Nothing is more inspiring to me or creates wonder in me than watching my children, my nieces and nephews, my family just taking in the parks. And some of my memories, one of my greatest memories is watching my grandfather as he looked into the sky, watching fireworks above the castle. And boy, I just cannot replace those memories. So with all the other great tips and tricks out there, also take a moment to sit down and stand and watch your loved ones take in Disney. I wish you the best, happy holidays, and thank you.
Now we're going to have the current events. Ken, what do you have for us?
Lynn, I've got a few things. We'll start off with a report in the Orange County Register from Jeffrey Miller under the headline, Disneyland reveals new details about ride that will replace Splash Mountain. And we do have our Patreon supporters joining us, so they will be commenting. And I'm looking forward to their comments. So what's going on here with this attraction is Disneyland visitors riding Tiana's Bayou Adventure will float through a swamp illuminated by fireflies while being serenaded by audio animatronic critters playing Zydeco music on instruments fashioned from objects found in the bayou when the attraction opens in 2024. So they're going to find these items in the bayou when the attraction opens. English is kind of weird, but anyway. Disneyland officials announced this on Friday, December 2nd. So, we all knew that they had proposed changes to the Splash Mountain attraction. And here's another update. So, as the story says further down, Disney also announced Friday that the Splash Mountain ride at Walt Disney World in Florida will close January 23rd to begin its transformation to Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which, the acronym for that is TBA. It's to be announced. But anyway, information on Splash Mountain at Disneyland will be announced at a later date, according to a Disneyland blog post. And I do think that what is going to happen is it's going to depend on our next story. They don't want too many things closed at once, too many of the major attractions closed for a long time at once.
Right.
So I think we will get an announcement when we have an end date for another renovation that's going to be taking place. Mm-hmm. But the Disney Parks blog did have their story on this. Carmen Smith was behind that, and it says a new scene and new critters are introduced for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And as it was written here, I'm excited to give you a first look at a new scene and some of the brand new characters we're creating specifically for this attraction. In Tiana's Bayou Adventure, you'll join Princess Tiana and jazz-loving alligator Louise during Mardi Gras season as they prepare to host a one-of-a-kind celebration for the people of New Orleans. This new scene is the thrilling moment you first drop into the bayou and encounter some friends both new and familiar. So, as we always have, these stories will be posted in the current events portion of our website at thesweepspot.com. It's kind of hard to show you the pictures over podcasts. So What you'll do is you'll be able to click through and see the entire thing if you're so inclined. So Russell puts those up. And so for all of these, remember that you can go and check those out there. It was funny, on the Disney Parks blog, there were some comments left that were not in favor of these changes. So, it's interesting that Disney let those comments be up there. That just goes to show you they,
don't read it.
They don't read. That's right. They don't pay attention to what's happening on their own blog. I was wondering if anybody in the chat group had anything to say about this yet.
Kim said replace Splash Mountain with TBA. Michael Park said, I don't think I would play an instrument I found in the bayou. And Michael Parks also said, what? People not in favor of change?
Hard to believe, right?
Yeah.
That's right. I've probably mentioned it on the podcast before, but when the Carousel of Progress was at Walt Disney World, it did have, they took out A Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow as the song, and they had Now Is the Time, Now Is the Best Time, which was another Sherman Brothers song. But when they restored Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow to the attraction, they got angry letters from people saying, how dare you take out the original song? And it was like, no, we're restoring the original song. So people get used to what they get used to, and then change, they don't like it. And well, of course, MiceChat.com also has that story, so you can read it there too. Get the details from them. They always have lots of pictures in their stories. But I did mention that I think the date for Disneyland's overhaul will be dependent on another attraction, and that is the Indiana Jones Adventure. So look who wrote this article. It was Brady McDonald. Brady McDonald wrote this article for the Orange County Register. Brady is back.
He's back.
He's back, and this time he's mad. No, so
maybe.
This article is Disneyland is closing Indiana Jones Adventure for up to 6 months for refurbishment. So,
it needs it. It needs it.
Yeah, well, I don't think the company said up to 6 months. I think it's that they're just extrapolating that from spring.
Well, but, do you think that? I mean, you have to also think about the Mickey's Minnie's Runaway Railroad that's opening in January, right?
Well, exactly. So for unless that's going to soft open, well, see here. Let me read the Indiana Jones article. It says the Indiana Jones Adventure attraction will be closed from January 9th until spring 2023 for refurbishment and maintenance, according to the Disneyland website. So if they can get the new thing soft open on the 9th, that would be great. Because if anyone's disappointed about Indiana Jones being closed, they say, hey, well, you know what? You might be able to get a preview of our newest attraction. You know, so who knows?
Did the website really say that? Because what I just saw was that there's no return date. Like, they don't know yet.
Well, it says until spring 2023. So they must have asked it. I wouldn't be surprised if they asked Disney. Okay. But see, I think once they know when Indiana Jones is coming back up, I think they'll set the closing of Splash Mountain for after that, because you'll have, think about it. You'll have Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Mm-hmm. You'll have the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge attractions. And so it'll be easier to get away. Indiana Jones will be back, so it'll be easier to get away with, and probably the Treehouse too. And so closing Splash Mountain will probably be the blow will be softened then.
But the Treehouse, would open when Indy goes down. Would be the idea, right? You don't want two attractions.
Well, that would be ideal, but definitely
next to each other.
When Splash Mountain goes down. Not that it's equivalent, but I mean.
No,
you want to be able to point to as many other things. Yes, Splash Mountain's closed, but we have Indiana Jones is reopened, and it's got it's wonderful. The article says here the spring 2023 return window means Indiana Jones Adventure could be closed for 10 weeks to 6 months. Seasonal refurbishments tend to bring Disneyland rides down for a few weeks, while major upgrades can take months. Disneyland's upcoming refurbishment of Indiana Jones Adventure is expected to introduce elements or scenes from the upcoming new Indiana Jones film starring Harrison Ford, according to reports. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is coming to theaters in summer 2023. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Hope it does well. If they're going to be adding stuff,
The Dial of Destiny sounds like, some scary showering. But anyway, the timing of the Disneyland ride closure pairs closely with the arrival of the new the new Indy film. It's not an Indy film. It's an Indiana Jones film. An Indy film is something entirely different. But anyway, spring 2023 ends on June 21st, while Dial of Destiny premieres on June 30th. Disney often tries to tie ride refreshes with blockbuster debuts and vice versa. The refurbished ride is expected to reopen with behind-the-scenes and guest-facing updates to audio animatronics like the attacking snake and other special effects, but not any significant changes from a story standpoint. Wondering what our chat room talkers, our Patreon supporters, are having to say about these things.
We have a lot of activity here. Michael Parks was saying, do you think they will put something in that dark area where the vehicle stalls out? I think that's where there was originally going to be something, but money ran out. Do you know anything about that, Ken?
Well, they could put the big giant dial bar of soap in there. The dial of destiny. Well, there, of course that would seem natural, wouldn't it? That they'd put something in there, but
I don't know. It would be good.
I mean, you think? Okay, dark rides. We've talked about this with Fantasyland. Things can be very effective, even if they're not that extensive or technologically advanced, and it's one of the benefits of a dark ride. But when they built that attraction, the ride system itself was such a big deal, and a lot of the scenery and art, the rock work and the queue area and all that sort of thing, and you zip by some parts of that so fast, it's like, well, we can get away with this just being kind of a dark area. But now, after all these years and advancements in technology and stuff, you would think they could do something, even if it's just using projection mapping.
Right. Yeah, you would think. Also, John, the retired guy, said new Boulder, new Snake, new Indy, new everything in there. Christine said, finally, Indy desperately needs it. And Patrick said, at least fix the broken stuff in there. And this goes on here. John said, maybe an actual Harrison Ford animatronic. That would be good. Maybe we'll almost run into a great big dial. A Destiny type dial. Kim said, change out the fake Indy with a better fake Indy. Christine said, can't wait until it reopens. Seeing everything working again will be wonderful. John said it will reopen as a walkthrough.
It'll be an exclusive dining experience,
Yes.
Chilled monkey brains. Yeah. So
I think it'll be good. It does need it.
It needs some work.
It'll be nice. I know everyone doesn't like to see things go down, but it has to happen, and I'm glad that it finally is for this attraction. It was supposed to have gone through this before, the COVID stuff. It was supposed to have gone through that, and it was just about to go down at that time, and it didn't. So,
well, hopefully something happens. I hope Disney can scrape together enough money to get the lights back on and all that sort of thing.
GoFundMe or something?
They maybe should have a GoFundMe. They're strapped for cash. LaughingPlace.com covered this, of course, and as they point out, the last time the attraction saw any kind of major work done was near the 60th anniversary of the park back in 2015, when various projection effects were installed in the attraction. Since then, the attraction has undergone numerous smaller refurbishments, but maybe for a few days at a time.
Yeah.
The thing is, they don't have, they don't have like a similar attraction. If you close down Toy Story Midway Mania, you can say, well, go over on Web Slingers,
Right, or Space Mountain.
They don't have. Yeah, go on the Matterhorn, go on Thunder Mountain, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of difficult to have it down for so long. But anyway,
moving on.
Well, I know you've been waiting for it. It's the Disney California Adventure Food and Wine Festival, returning in March. So, Disneyland Resort has announced the return of its popular DCA Food and Wine Festival. From March 3rd through April 25th, California Adventure Park will feature 12 marketplaces serving Californian-inspired bites and beverages created by Disney chefs. The selections include seasonal, non-alcoholic drinks, along with beer, wine, and cocktails. And this is in a report in the Orange County Register from Jennifer Tanaka. So the Sip and Savor Pass returns for this festival. It's the best way to explore the self-guided tasting tour. Also, it's shareable with other guests so a family can use one pass together. This year, the park is offering new signature tasting experiences. Makes my mouth water, Lynn.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds good. I've never tried any of the different food events they've had there. Maybe I will.
Yeah, I mean, you get people line up. They line up for candy canes, So
Yeah.
I mean, it's stuff you can eat is a big deal at the, especially seasonal.
Yeah. Michael Parks, back to the Indy thing, was saying, I sure spent enough there a couple weeks ago to fully fund the refurbishment. I hear you. I was there a few weeks ago. So, John says Chapek is unemployed, so he can stand in at the end of Indy for Indy. Yeah.
Poor Bob. Okay. Well, we've got some events coming up in 2023, as LaughingPlace.com reports. Disneyland After Dark expands in 2023 with new Princess Night and Return of Sweethearts Night. Just announced, and this is as of today, as of we're recording, just announced, fan favorite Disneyland After Dark events are returning to the Disneyland Resort in 2023, with more dates added for Sweethearts Night and the introduction of all new theme Princess Night. So Disneyland After Dark begins with a 3-hour pre-party mix-in from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Disneyland. Then the private party begins from 9 to 1 a.m., which also means you may ride some popular attractions after regular park hours. Additionally, at each of these events, you'll receive unlimited digital downloads of Disney PhotoPass photos taken during the party, plus commemorative keepsakes, including a souvenir credential and event guide map. Tickets will be available beginning next week on Disneyland.com. On December 12th, no earlier than 9 a.m., a limited number of tickets for these Disneyland After Dark events go on pre-sale for Magic Key holders. On December 14th, no earlier than 9 a.m., this is Pacific time, by the way, for you who are not on the West Coast, tickets will go on sale to the general public and are subject to availability. I know you're excited about this, Lynn. Let's see. Sweethearts Night, there are going to be several dates starting with January 31st and going through February 16th. Okay, so what you can do is you can not do anything for Valentine's Day, right? And then, your woman's about to break up with you, and you go, but I have tickets to Sweethearts Night at Disneyland on the 16th. You see. See, there you go. You surprise her. Okay, Sweethearts Night will take place on 7 different date nights in Disneyland Park, the most ever for a Disneyland After Dark event. Celebrate the love of your life, your best pal, or cherished family at this very special evening that will put your heart aflutter. You can gaze up at a special themed fireworks show. You can dance at the Royal Ball hosted by Aladdin and Jasmine near It's a Small World. Take a moonlit cruise on the Mark Twain riverboat with the sounds of a live jazz ensemble, and it goes on and on with different experiences for that. Now, I know what you are most excited about, though, Lynn, is Princess Night. Okay,
I am,
and that's March 7th and 9th. Okay, so you are invited to be royally fierce at Disneyland After Dark Princess Night. This all-new first-ever event will be a celebration under the stars, where adventurous heroines and aspirational hearts unite. Wow. So, who doesn't want to go to Princess Night?
I was just curious, has anyone in the chat been to one of these extra nights? Besides the Oogie Boogie Bash, but one of these other ones? I'm just curious. I haven't. And most of the time, when I watch YouTube videos of people that have gone, they don't seem very happy about them. So I'm just curious if anyone else has. It sounds fun, but then you look at the price, and sometimes it's like, I'm not sure if it's worth that for the 6-7 hour whatever it is that you're in there. But I think that it would mostly appeal to. I mean, I guess it could appeal to people on vacation, but I was gonna say like locals. But even if you had a pass, you'd still have to buy this ticket and separate. So
right, maybe locals who don't have passes, but are willing to go for a special thing like this,
Yeah.
Because there used to be a lot more private parties, right?
Mm-hmm.
You might. All those people are probably retired by now. No, but you had people who, it'd be their company night at Disneyland, and there's a lot fewer of those now. But there's these things, so
Right.
It's like if you want to do something like that, you can. So.
Patrick said he's only been to the Princess Breakfast. Christine said, nope, I've heard from others that they are a waste of money. John, don't hold back. John said, take your sweetheart up the Matterhorn for a pickup basketball game. Christine.
That's where the real romance is.
Christine said, long lines for meet and greets and sold out special food. So.
Take your sweetheart on backstage at Pirates of the Caribbean. There's a table. Never mind. Well, keep the comments coming. There is another story that I wanted to get on to, but you can still keep commenting on anything we've already talked about. Disneyland offers discounted weekday tickets for Southern California residents. Ooh, so I'm sorry, all of you who are not Southern California residents, but the thing is, Disneyland Resort is offering Southern California residents discounted daily admission tickets for weekdays in the first few months of 2023 that could get guests into the parks for as little as $73 a day. Locals can buy a 3-day, 1 park per day weekday ticket for $219 each. That's $73 per day. Or a 3-day weekday park hopper ticket for $279 each, or $93 per day. Visitors can add the Genie Plus line skipping feature and pay $294 for a 3-day, 1 park ticket, or $354 for a 3-day park hopper. Financing is not available. I added that last part. Locals. Okay, so I've already done that part. Okay, tickets are on sale now and can be used from January 9th through May 25th. So if you wanted to use it for Indiana Jones, you're out of luck. But January 9th through May 25th, guests must obtain reservations for the dates they wish to visit the park. Any one of our Patreon supporters taking advantage of this? Or do they all have passes?
I mean, someone that lives only a few miles from the park, this would be a great deal for them.
Yeah, do you know anybody who?
I don't. But this would be a good.
Who lives close enough to hear the fireworks?
Yeah, this would be good. If you live close and you're not a pass holder, this would be a good idea.
Yeah, maybe you should pass on to that person. I don't
know. John said, "What is the reasoning behind higher prices for a hopper ticket?" Well, it allows you into both parks, right?
I mean that. Yeah. Disney's willing to have such a bare bottom price if you're willing to stay in one park. But if you want to do both parks, well, you're going to pay for it, buddy.
Right. Right. That's my
thought.
But yeah, this sounds good. It's kind of interesting, the timing of this, because they're kicking off, the 100th celebration of the company, and around the same time, and Then you have Minnie's Runaway Train opening, and you have the parades coming back, which you probably talk about later. And then, there's all this stuff going on, and then they have this deal. So, because usually you would do this when you want to try to attract more people into the park. So maybe they're not anticipating extra, or is this just a good PR thing, to local?
I can't imagine people visiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, have they been saying, have people visiting and going like, man, these parks are empty? Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
We need a promotion.
It's almost like I wonder if. Yeah, we need. I wonder if it's so they can say, look, you can get a deal to visit the park. We're not, we haven't priced everybody out.
Right.
I don't know, Well, the official Disney Parks blog does cover that, and of course they've got all the official information on it. But they point out what you were saying, all these things are coming up here. Like they say Lunar New Year, going to be celebrating that January 20th through February 15th. Disney 100 Years of Wonder celebration, that's going to be coming up. And 2 all new nighttime spectaculars. Be sure to see Wondrous Journeys at Disneyland Park and World of Color 1 at DCA, both of which debut on January 27th. So, and of course they mentioned Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which is, officially opening on January 27th. Mm-hmm. The Magic Happens Parade, which had a quote unquote limited debut in 2020.
For what, 2 weeks?
That'll be back at Disneyland on February 24th. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine? There were probably performers in that parade who only did it for that time, and they're off to other stuff now. So it's like, hey, I was in a Disneyland parade for a couple weeks.
Interesting.
They also mentioned the Food and Wine Festival, Toontown having its other additions to it. Mm-hmm. So they also say there's epic adventures at the Adventures Campus. So there's so much to see and do, and not only, by the way, it's not just the park discount. You can save up to 20% on select stays at Disney at the hotels at the resort. So 20% off. Ooh. They have all their paragraphs and paragraphs of disclaimers. Right. So I wonder if anybody in the chat room has anything to say.
Oh, they're talking about, we find there is now plenty to do at DCA for a whole day, that there's no need for a hopper. Christine was saying that this was the deals, the Southern California deals. Christine was saying it's nice for non-queue holders. Then John was saying, what's the first thing people will complain about with Runaway Railroad? I said if they do the boarding groups again. John said, you think they would do that again? I said, and then Christine said, they probably will, like they do at Walt Disney World Virtual Queue and Paid Lightning Lane.
Yeah.
We'll see. I know there's going to be a big demand for it. And
yeah, why wouldn't there be a big new dark ride,
Right.
Yep.
All right.
It'll be the new thing. So, all right. Well, like I said, all these things will be at thesweepspot.com or our current event show notes. 3 new Disneyland Genie Plus features you'll love, and 1 you probably won't. That's according to Brady McDonald at the Orange County Register. So he had the Indiana Jones story, and now he's back today with a second story, and that's this one. So Disneyland has rolled out updates to its mobile app, including one this week, that makes it easier for visitors to change rides, return times, and party size in their Genie Plus itineraries. So if you kick somebody out of your group, you can change it. The Disney Plus service offers paid front-of-the-line access to 20 rides at Disneyland and DCA, replacing the free Fast Pass service offered by the Anaheim theme park for decades. Lightning Lane access for 2 of the most popular attractions, Rise of the Resistance and Radiator Springs Racers, are sold separately with prices that vary by day. Disneyland, so number 1, it says here, Disneyland visitors can modify their Genie Plus selections in the app and choose from other available return time windows without canceling or rebooking their existing reservation.
Well, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So, point 2. You can also change attractions without canceling your original booking first, but you can only choose another ride in the same park. So, point 3. Party sizes can be changed on Genie Plus reservations by selecting the Cancel Plan button in the app. The twist here is you can remove members of your party from a Genie Plus reservation, but you can't add to the party size.
So if someone changes their mind and doesn't want to go on it, then
right,
which has happened to us, and I just let it go, But yeah, that's a good idea.
And number 4, the point 4, Disneyland quietly moved to date-based pricing for Genie Plus in October. That means Genie Plus prices now change on a daily basis, just like the Disneyland ticket prices. Genie Plus prices that were fixed at $20 per day when the service launched now start at $25 a day and vary by date, and start is the key word here. Genie Plus has risen to $30 a day on a few select Saturdays since the change and throughout Thanksgiving week, according to Thrill data. Expect a price spike during the upcoming Christmas holiday season, traditionally the busiest time of the year at the parks.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, if you don't want to or can't read that at the register, Laughing Place has coverage, and Mouse Planet has MiceChat.com has coverage. Sorry about that. Anyone in the chat room talking about Genie Plus changes here? Or are they just, have they gone rogue and they're just making plans to meet up and, all that sort of thing?
Yeah, John was saying they need the money, Christine, the dough, Christine. And then and Patrick said, yep, Chapek got $20 million to go away. And John, far away.
If you want to join in on these chats, you join our Patreon, okay? Join our Patreon, and you can join in on these chats, and we can read your comments on the show. Go to Patreon and search out The Sweep Spot. So I wanted to touch upon something that happened, a very, very sad thing that happened at the resort. And if maybe you don't want your kids to hear this, or maybe you don't want to hear it, if you know what I'm alluding to, so you might want to skip ahead a minute or two. But I did want to mention, we had Candlelight Weekend, 3rd and 4th, Saturday and Sunday, and on the 3rd, you did have, and this has happened before, not with this person, obviously, but there was somebody who jumped to their death at the Mickey and Friends parking structure. Unfortunately, it's the holiday season. You have all these guests and kids and everything, and so there's going to be witnesses of that are traumatized. I don't want to get into, the motivations and the denunciations and all of that sort of thing. It was highly publicized locally, and I actually read the guy's suicide note because he posted it on Facebook. Very, very sad. I did want to say, if you or anyone you know is having any trouble at all, you can, in the United States, you can dial 988 now. 988. I just want to say life is short enough as it is. So most likely there are better days ahead. So if you're having troubles of that sort, call 988 or 1-800-273-8255. So, okay. But that's as much detail as I want to get in. But I did want to say the reason I bring that up is because I subscribe to, I'm in agreement with David Koenig, author of Mouse Tales, and so many other books. But the Mouse Tale books were, he points out, look, we should not deny that these sort of things happen. Because I think there's more risk in in covering these up than to say, yes, this happened, and this is how to prevent this, or this is why you have to be alert, and this is why you have to be careful. Not much you can really do about this. I feel sorry for anybody who was affected, especially on such a wonderful night. Otherwise, they had to redirect everybody going back to their cars and all that sort of thing. So, sorry about that. I wanted to get back to some positive stuff. The Disneyland update from MiceChat.com. There was one on November 28th from Dusty Sage called Follow the Bouncing Bobs. Thanksgiving has come and gone and has left us with something to be very thankful for this year, a much-needed change in leadership of the Disney company. So that's how they started out. And, of course, their updates are always loaded with pictures. There was an update on December 7th from Andy Castro. And that update was Bob Iger, Walt's Shadow, and Refurb Madness. So, as they point, because he said, with Walt Disney's birthday, do Disney's current leaders live up to his standards? Mm-hmm. Do the parks offer the carefree magic adventure, cleanliness, and sense of comfort he intended for them? So, we'll probably touch upon that in our next topical episode of the podcast, because we're putting these out weekly except for our holiday break. Mm-hmm. We do these current events every 2 weeks, and we do the other weeks that are not current events. We talk about a topical episode, often about the resort history. So next time we touch upon stuff, we will be talking about Walt's Disneyland, that next episode. The previous episode, by the way, was Disneyland as it was in 1992, if you want to go back in time. I'll be interested to hear what's going on in the chat room. I did want to mention one more news item here. LaughingPlace.com had this article, What We Learned from Disney's 2022 Annual Report. And as they say, according to the annual report, Disney owns 3 more acres in Anaheim than they did last year, as a potential expansion could be coming to the Disneyland Resort next decade. And I'm wondering if, we did mention that hotel on Ball Road was sold, mm-hmm. and they couldn't really tell us who bought it. And I'm wondering if that's 3 acres, but or if they're talking about 3 acres somewhere else. But interesting that, Disney owns 3 more acres in Anaheim than they did last year. And I wonder, which 3 acres. Did you have any renovation news, Lynn?
I do. So we have, the calendar goes up to January 20th as of today. I was recording this on December 9th. So I'll read what we have here. Tarzan's Treehouse. No return date yet, but we kind of speculated on the timing with Indy and all that. Or Splash Mountain, just different things going on in the park. It's a Small World. Will be down from the 9th until the 20th. It'll be back on January 20th.
So the 8th is the last day if you guys want to see all the holiday stuff.
Yeah.
The 8th is the last day.
Indy, of course, we talked about that. And the Disney Gallery and Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, with a no return date because the calendar as of when it goes down, and that happens also.
I heard Lincoln's going to look more like Harrison Ford when they come back.
People would not enjoy that. Well, some might. Yeah, I was just curious because I didn't write that down when that went down. So that is the 9th is a big day. So the Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln and Disney Gallery go down on the 9th. Grizzly River Run goes down also on the 9th with no return date. And Radiator Springs Racers goes down. When did I see that? See it?
It's a big one.
Yeah, that one goes down on the 6th. Wait, what was it? I'm sorry, I guess I had it here and I lost it. That one goes down on the 17th, of January. So it looks like, I think that's like a 3-day weekend. The January 14th, 15th, 16th, and then Tuesday the 17th it goes down. Radiator Springs Racers. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So it is that season, when we hit January, February, sometimes March. So I think we'll have to see on the timing. We kind of spoke about all that in the the chat room. They said, John said, maybe I forgot, but what's going at the movie theater in ESPN area after all? I think they're just expanding more of downtown Disney. I think there's some shops and restaurants that'll take up space there. When I was there a few weeks ago, it still was dirt, so I don't think they're ready to.
They can replace the movie theater with TV screens that are showing Disney Plus. That'll be or is that a little bit too much on the nose?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I was surprised at the hotel that they didn't have Disney Plus. Like you could sign into your account, but I thought it would be a good promotion for them to just have it for free for the hotel guests while you're there, because then if people didn't have it at home and they had a chance to try it there, they might go, hey, this is cool, I'm going to sign up for this,
Yeah, where's the synergy?
I don't know. Patrick said Harrison Ford, 35 years old with CGI.
Yeah.
John said, will they sell off old bulbs after Indy refurb?
They should. They should put them in little boxes and say that those bulbs have blown away forever.
Christine said, interesting, they are doing Small World first. I think that is because of... I was thinking maybe because Splash Mountain might go down. And they don't... Yeah, I don't know. That's weird, huh? Well, maybe with Indy down, they don't want to have Haunted Mansion down. We'll have to see how that all plays out, but I think maybe it has something to do with Indy. But if Indy's going to be down that long, they don't want to have Holiday Mansion playing in March, So,
right.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe they're just going to leave. Maybe they're just going to leave it in place. Yeah.
Maybe it does have to do with Mickey Minnie's Runaway, because if you have Small World closed and you have people in that area of the park, at least you have an available attraction that is open if there's a long line or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just a thought. All right.
I love the comments from our chat room, our Patreon supporters. They get to join us once a month, and of course they also get a bonus episode once a month.
Yeah.
So thank you to our Patreon supporters for joining us and for all your input on the current events for Disney.